Class 5, we need Ivan Letner, Creed Huff, and Matthew Mace outside the show ring, please.
There's some sort here on the top end amongst these top three steers, and I think probably the combination steer is the young lady's red and white calf. I think one that's just really fresh and square. You get your hands on him, and he's easily the most expressive right there behind his shoulder. And then if you step off to the side of him, he can actually give you a pretty decent look. He's long and extended, he's level down his top. I just find him to be the complete package as we compare him to the two steers that follow. The black calf is certainly the furthest along in his finish. I like his body and how he transitions back through his lower rim and flank. He's one that's still got some shape. As you study him up high, I'm not sure he's as expressive. There is the calf right ahead of him. I guess for me, from a balance perspective, he's one that I just want to modify there through the front 1/3, clean him up, allow him to set down more within himself off those high wheels. The Hereford Mark calf is actually one that sparked my interest when he came in. I think the young lady does a nice job of getting him ready and presented out here. He's loose and agile in his skeleton, especially as we compare him to the steer right ahead of him. Just want to give him a shot more lower quarter, and he's one that maybe wants to just break right behind his shoulder. The calf that comes next, this one is certainly far along in terms of his cover. I think it's starting to push forward in his chest and shoulder. Just want to make him a touch more useful there through his front 1/3. The calf that comes next, super long and extended type of a steer. He's one that's got some muscle as you get in behind him. Want want to freshen him up in his shape, and he just gets a little bit off. He gets a little bit off in terms of his skeleton, maybe just a little too easy in his spine on the move. The two steers that come next, really big, high-performing type of steers. One that needs just a touch more power, and then on the bottom end, want to reorganize him skeletally. Let's give those young people a nice hand.
First in that class with a purple went to Kaylee Dyke. Second purple, Connor Brummett, calf number 4125. And third with the purple, Maggie Huff. Fourth, blue, Connor Brummett, calf number 4126. Fifth, blue, Tanner Nelson. Sixth, blue, Sarah Hudgel. And seventh, blue, Camille Carr. Now we have class 4 in the show ring. We need class 5 to be lined up outside. All class winners from Division 3, please head this way for the championship of the Division 3 steers. Class winners from Division 3 outside the show ring, please.
I think we've got a nice pair of steers, and we're into these heavier weights, so freshness is key, and I think that's where this steer finds himself at the top. One that's just really expressive and shapely down the top side of his skeleton. He's got a tremendous amount of muscle when you step in behind him. Now, there are some things I'd like to change on him. I think he gets a little bit harder in terms of his forerib and into his flank. Want to blend him tighter and smoother there through his shoulder. But in terms of just pure product and muscle and freshness, he's got the advantage today. The calf that comes out here in second, I do prefer in terms of his agility to get around the ring. I think he's better in his angles and more flexible. It's a good bodied calf that's clearly been pretty easy feeding for the young lady. He just gives up too much shape, especially as you read him right behind his shoulder. The calf that comes out next, I think one that probably has some advantages up high over the calf right ahead of him. I think he does read squarer and fresher right there behind his shoulder and over into his loin. Want to reorganize him skeletally, especially off those hind wheels. Want to set him down squarer and truer. The calf that comes out next, this one's pretty far along in terms of his finish. Want to freshen him up in his shape, and I think he can be more competitive. The Hereford steer that comes out next, this one's actually got quite a bit of dimension as you step in behind him. That's a good bodied calf. That's certainly got some skeletal advantage. A couple of steers that were ahead of him. Want to open him up in his forerib, allow him to offer some more shape down his top. The two calves that come out next, I think the same can be said. Just want to freshen them up in the shape that they offer today. Let's give all those young people a nice hand.
First with the purple in that class went to Ashland. Second purple, Allie Leaders. Third purple, Keegan Cook. Fourth with the blue, Kira Northman, calf number 4170. Fifth with the blue, Luke Huntoff. Sixth with the blue, Malloy Helvey. And seventh with the blue, Kira Northman, 4167. Now we have class 5 in the show ring. Then we'll have a small class, class 6. It says class 5, but it's really 6.
Got a nice set with some quality, probably 3 or 4 deep here. The black and white steer I'm going to use to win the class. I think one that's just fresh and square. You get your hands on him back over his loin. He's got a clear advantage. And the young lady does a nice job getting him set up, and he can still give you a pretty youthful look up there through his front 1/3, which is impressive at this heavier weight. The calf that comes in second, young man does a nice job of rebounding and getting back after it. He's showing a nice gold calf here, one that squares up and has really probably got the advantage right there behind his shoulder. He's very expressive and offers a lot of dimension. Want to open him up in his body cavity and allow him to just be a touch more expansive there in his heart. The calf that comes next, this is certainly a good bodied calf, probably the best bodied calf of the top three. And I like him from a skeletal standpoint. Young man does an awesome job showing him. He's one that just wants to get a little bit plainer in his muscle shape, especially down his top, and then you step in behind him, you maybe get a little bit more disappointed at the base of his quarter. The calf that comes out next, kind of this blue and white calf, I think one that probably is just pushing a little bit further along in terms of his finish. Want to freshen him up in the shape that he offers today. The black and white calf that comes next, really long body type of a steer that's got some size and performance to him. Just want to stout him up in the shape that he offers, one that gets just a little bit staler in terms of the muscle that he presents. Then the calf that rounds out our class, one that's really big bodied. It looks to be an easy feeding type of a steer for the young man, one that just needs to be fresher in the shape that he presents. So let's give those young people a nice hand.
First purple in that class went to Ella Worthman. Second purple, Wyatt Rome. Third purple, Dalton Miller. Fourth blue, Matthew Mace. Fifth blue, Ivan Letner. And sixth blue, Creed Huff. Now we have our last class of this division. We've got 2 calves in here. So then we'll pick our champion Division 3 steer. We need Allie Leaders, your second place calf in from class 4 outside the show ring. Allie Leaders outside the show ring, please.
These are big boys. Clearly, they've got their stickers, and I know you guys have it in their program what their rate of gain was. And so, what's really impressive is that these young men have found some steers that are really capable of performing. And I know in an industry outside of the show ring, that's really important to us is making sure that we've got cattle that are going to eat, that are going to gain well. And so very impressive that they have them out here. They probably wanted to be done with them a little while ago. But obviously with County Fair in mind, they brought them and they still present some really nice steers out here for them. Both of them have some muscle. Both of them have some finish. I think I'm going to leave them lined up the way they are. The young man there at the front end of the line, I think he's just a little bit more uniform in the way he balances out from the side. He's more appropriate in how he handles himself around the ring in terms of his spine. And then the steer that comes second, again, another just good performing type of a steer. He's really starting to push a lot there through his chest, and maybe it takes him a little bit more off balance there through his flank. 2 really nice steers. Let's give those young men a nice hand.
First with the purple, Kyle Moss. And second with the purple, Austin Moss. And also those calves are, Austin's calf is the champion rate of gain, and Kyle's is the reserve champion rate of gain. And then they switched. Kyle's is the champion rate of gain per day of age, and Austin's is the reserve champion. So congratulations, boys. champions rate of gain per day of age, and the rate of gain champions will receive belt buckles donated by EJ and Jean Fisher. A reminder that after midnight tonight, no parking south of the yellow road over here where you come into the gate, because the shootout tomorrow, they'll be parking trucks and trailers there. So no parking south of the yellow road after midnight tonight. And also, I'd like to thank our Queen Court for helping us today. Our Queen Ashton Borthman, our first runner-up Pearl Hubble, our second runner-up Sarah Hudgel, and our Miss Congeniality Stella Humphreys. Thank you, girls, for helping us with our ribbons.
Well, another impressive division as we get our heavyweights out here, and I think that it's fun to judge lightweights and kind of see what they're going to be in the future and what they're going to, you assume that they're going to finish out to be, and then you get into the heavyweight division and they are what they are. A lot of them are to the point or at their prime or maybe a little bit past their prime, and so being able to see how these cattle have performed for these kids, it just makes things kind of interesting as we get out here into a grand drive. I guess for me, it kind of comes down to our front two steers here. I'm just going to talk about them a little bit. The calf that comes out of our first class, this one is just the power steer. He's easily the biggest topped and the biggest ended calf that's got a lot of feature at the ground. With that, he gives up a little bit of look and build. Want to fix it just through his front 130 him up there, maybe lengthen him out there, and then he gets a little bit rounder in the build to his hip. But you certainly can't discount the amount of muscle and product that he's bringing to the table. Young man does a nice job showing him. The calf that comes out of our second class, I talked about him in class, as well as the calf that was second in that class. We're both carrying quite a bit of bloat to him, and he's made some adjustments as he come out here in the division, and I think that just helps that calf tremendously. As we study him in motion, he's a lot more comfortable and agile in his skeleton. He's the calf that can give you a pretty decent look on the profile. Get in behind him, you're probably just a little bit more disappointed, especially as you compare him to the calf that won the first class. He's a little bit flatter in terms of his muscle shape as you get in behind him, but I still think a calf that's not devoid of muscle. You get him on the handle, and I think he's one that certainly got some shape and expression down the top side of his skeleton. So there's some give and take there, and I think two very, very different kinds of calves and their type and kind. I'll go shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll bring in our second, but let's give all of our heavyweight exhibitors a big hand.
Our champion Division 3 steer was shown by Max Tarks, and he'll be presented a medal hanger donated by Richard and Kim Pigman. Our reserve champion was shown by Braden Tarks. Congratulations. Now we will show for our grand champion Marcus Steer.
Is there an overall between the effort? Well, there should be because that's what we said.
After our grand champion is picked, we will show club groups. So you need a group of 5 animals that are nice and uniform from your club. Bring those over and you can show them as a group, and we'll see who gets the champion club group.
really fun steer show to sort through, and I think we've got great examples of just good fundamental market cattle as we work through each of our class, or I guess division winners here. And I think that it's really impressive, and we've got some other items of business to take care of still yet in the program. But I know that there's a lot riding on this out here in the steer drive. And I think every single one of these exhibitors should be really proud of what they've brought to the county fair and the amount of effort and work that they've put in at home to get to this point, to get to this level. I think that, again, we cover the basics, and that's the most important part. We find cattle that have muscle, that have some efficiency, that have body, and then from there, it's my job to take it and find those animals that offer the uniqueness out here. And I think we've got a couple of steers, 2 or 3 steers out here that certainly provide that quality, that show steer look. Clearly been prepared and ready to go out here. That's not to discredit anyone that didn't make it out into this grand drive, because I think we saw some really nice cattle, but very impressed with each of our division winners out here. I'm not going to go back through and talk them. I think we've got one steer out here that hit me pretty hard in division. One steer out here that I think just puts all the bells and whistles together without sacrificing any of those fundamentals we talked about. So I'll go shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll bring out our reserve division. But let's just give all of our exhibitors today in the steer show a big hand. We certainly don't take a dip in quality as we bring that reserve middleweight out here. And I think that I talked about them in division in terms of being kind of a closer decision that we made today. So it's exciting to have him out here and provide that quality as well. I'll go shake the hand of your reserve, but let's give them all another big hand.
Our grand champion market steer was shown by Wade Spencer, and he was presented a banner donated by Rob and Carol Leaders and a belt buckle donated by EJ and Gene Fisher. And our reserve grand champion was shown by Braden Tarks, and he was presented a banner donated by Marty and Sandy Huff. So congratulations, boys. Now we need our club groups of 5. Oh, sorry. We're gonna bring out the champion market heifer and the champion steer and judge them against each other to see who goes to the shootout, which is tomorrow. So don't park on the south side of the yellow road.
thankful as we go to select our supreme market animal. I just want to take the opportunity to thank the county fair and those responsible for allowing me the opportunity to come out and evaluate again this year. I had a bunch of fun last year and was looking forward to it, not only in terms of quality of cattle, but quality of kids. And you guys have a really awesome county fair for the number of showmanship heats that we had. The involvement in this project area is just super impressive. And that's not just because it's fun to show cattle, it's because of all of the people that support programs like this and get kids involved in youth organizations, especially the Beef Project. And we need more involvement. So I really am appreciative and humbled by the opportunity to interact in this industry and be able to have these opportunities. Not something I take lightly. I grew up in the show ring and grew up going to shows with my family. And I think that's the biggest thing. You know, yesterday I judged a show and I had my seniors each talk on the mic and share their favorite thing about showing and give one piece of advice to juniors and intermediates. And there was some tears shed. We had some kids that were in their last year of showing, and they understood how important of an opportunity it was and how important it was for them and their families to be involved in this industry and be involved in the show ring. So it's something that I'm humbled every time I get to come to the show and interact with these kids. And so it's, again, very grateful that you guys had me back again this year. Really appreciate the ring help. We worked through a lot of cattle today and a lot of different classes. And there's a lot of shows that it would have taken us into tomorrow to get through this number. So very helpful ring help. And we worked together last year, so maybe we worked together again this year and it went even smoother. But just really appreciate their help. It takes a lot of people to put on this kind of show with this many numbers. And they still do it with a smile on their face and make sure that everyone is having a good time out here. And that's the biggest thing. When we talk about keeping these numbers and keeping these projects alive, we have to have these kids have good experiences. So to have the community involvement and have positive experiences on both sides of it, I think is so important. So I'll stop talking. But again, very grateful, and I'll go select your Supreme Champion overall market animal. But let's give all the kids and all the fair board members and all of our help a big hand.
Our supreme market animal is shown by Wade Spencer, and he'll be going to the shootout tomorrow. And then, yes, we'd like you to have a round of applause for our judge. She did a great job today. Thank you. So clubs, bring over your club groups of 5 to the show ring.